Yesterday, a pre-order dropped. It was Transformer Tuesday, and Hasbro Pulse decided to drop in our laps yet again another Generation Selects exclusive. Now, we talked about this one many times over the past couple weeks on the podcast, but now we finally got some official images. We have some better information about the product. We have a pre-order, we have a release date, we have all the information, so we're just going to go over that, explain the history of what's going on with this figure if you missed those previous segments, and talk about what is going to be marching forward with the leftover stuff that we know about and some stuff that we haven't even seen yet in relation to Generation Selects in the year of 2022. So, what do we got today? So, Hasbro Pulse dropped in our laps, DK-2 Guard, our latest deluxe Transformer from the Generation Selects line. Now, we originally knew him as Guard. That was what the leaked listings were for this character. Of course, we saw many images of him online originally from different stolen sources. And today, now we have the official images of the product, its pre-order, and everything like that. Now, for people who are confused with, well, what's the story with this character? Why is it a black repaint of that elusive Ironhide figure from the Prowl Ironhide 2-pack of Earthrise Amazon, which luckily does give people an option if they didn't get that mold to pick it up that way. Although me personally, I think the best version of that mold is the Cybertronian one. But that's just me personally. Either way, so this guy here is essentially a throwback, an homage based to the old Diaclone version of Ironhide. Ironhide back in the day was a Diaclone figure that was known as Diaclone One Box Cherry Vanet. It was a Nissan van, and it was supposed to be a black version. That's what it was. It was originally black. When that mold was brought over to the American market here and was dubbed Ironhide and the whole story with that, they painted it red. They felt red was the better color scheme for it. Can you blame them? I think maybe because Trail Cutter was already black, you got to mix up the colors a little bit here and there. Who knows? Either way, Ironhide was born in 1984, and the rest was history. But many years later afterwards, with the success of the Michael Bay movies, it was kind of one of these things where they went, oh yeah, Ironhide was black at one point in the history of that character, and now he's a black, top kick pickup truck here in the movies. Why don't we do something with that? And of course, at the time, there was the reissue Encore line that was going on between 2005 and 2012 in Japan, and eHobby was obviously doing some repaints based off of those reissue toys. And we got a black repaint based off of that old Diaclone color scheme called Ironhide Protect Black, or as I like to call it in Japanese, Protecto Blacku. So that was that. So that was like the only way you were pretty much able to get that figure cheaply in its original color scheme outside of the Diaclone release. And what do we have today? That exact version done in the modern interpretation of that mold. It's a straight up repaint. If you have the Amazon Ironhide Prowl 2-pack and you have that mold, it's a 100% repaint of that. No new molding, no new weapons, no new head sculpt, just a straight up repaint using those fine details and the deco, that 1970s deco on the side of the black vehicle. And that is that. Nothing much really to sing home about. What we do learn today from this more than anything else is that this is going to be designated DK-2, because originally we knew this as just Guard. And it's called DK-2 because when some of those Diaclone molds ended up in the Western and European market under the Diaclone line, he was called DK-2. That was his ID number. And that rolls into one of the other Generation Selects figures that we're going to be talking about in a moment. So this has gone up for pre-order. The pre-order starts as of yesterday. It is, as of this recording, keep in mind, this things could change. As of this recording, it is still up for pre-order. It has not sold out yet. This is expected to ship in April 1st, around the exact same time of Transformers Legacy, to join your other figures. Pre-order of $24.99, and it is 2 per customer. Now, there is other stuff that we will be getting from Generation Selects. We've already talked about Black Zarek. We've already talked about Lift Ticket. Now we know about DK-2 Guard. What is left? So we've seen images of but we don't have pre-orders for some characters, such as one of them being Night Prowler, the Cheetor repaint done into the Halloween Horicon color scheme, Deluxe Class Sandstorm, which is a repaint of the Kingdom Scorponok done into the Bakhan color scheme, and then we have Deluxe Class Buzzsaw, Deluxe Class Kingdom Waspinator repainted into his Beast Wars Buzzsaw color scheme. So we've seen those. We don't have pre-orders for those yet, but we do know those are coming at some point. In what order, we don't know. We have two others that are also scheduled for 2022 that we still haven't seen what they look like and what they are going to be and when those pre-orders will be. And it is that of the Deluxe DK-3 and Voyager class Cyclonus Armada something something. So the DK-3, for people that aren't familiar, just like with the DK-2 here, guard that we just talked about, DK-3 pulls from its Diaclone origins, which DK-3 was a blue repaint of the Trail Cutter / Trailbreaker mold, and it's probably going to be a blue repaint of the Earthrise Trailbreaker toy, maybe given a brand new head sculpt, maybe mix it up a little bit just to make it a little bit more different, or it might just be a straight up repaint homage to that old Diaclone DK-3 version. As for the Voyager class Cyclonus into the Armada, we don't know. It could be just a straight up repaint of that Cyclonus mold done in a lighter kind of purple, because Armada in the background is kind of a different shade of purple than that of Cyclonus, I guess. They probably won't do any major retooling, maybe just something for an army building perspective. I don't know how they'll go about it, but it will be interesting to see what they do with that one, because when we got our sweep repaint, well, it was what it was, like I said. Not very original, that one. So hopefully we'll get it with something at least a little bit unique and different for his Armada, and maybe a little bit of a story that'll kind of explain him, because I know back in the day with TFCon, I tried to write a whole bunch of fiction explaining who the Armada was and that whole story. Google Transformers TFCon Anarchy for that kind of craziness. Either way, should be interesting. Should be interesting to see what happens, but that's pretty much the short or the long list of what Hasbro Pulse is going to be giving us for 2022 of the Generation Selects. I don't think there's going to be anything else coming up to this point. Again, Lift Ticket went on pre-order, I want to say about a month and a half ago, Black Zarek way before that, and now for January we have DK-2. Chances are Night Prowler, Sandstorm, and Buzzsaw will probably be every other month. And same thing with the DK-3 and his Armada Cyclonus. So that leaves us 5 other figures every other month. That'll definitely cover the whole year leading into 2023. That's just my call. I'm pretty sure they'll figure it out. There's all the scheduling and everything that's being planned with Transformers right now is kind of put into a loop now that the Rise of the Beast live action movie, it's not Michael Bay, has been pushed back to 2023. So all of the scheduling has been kind of out of sync and out of whack. So we'll see what happens with that. But again, pre-orders are up right now for DK-2 Guard. Check it out if you're interested. It's pretty much the cheapest way right now to get that Ironhide mold outside of the Amazon one in the secondary market, which forget about it right now. Again, $24.99, 2 per person, and we'll ship out when your Legacy toys start shipping to retail in April of 2022.